Hi everyone, we are Airsoft Taiwan. Today I would like to show you a new product from the Maple Leaf, but it's their agent product, the Xpert. The Xpert brushless motor. And this brushless motor can operate voltage from the DC 7.4 voltage to 11.1 voltage. The operating temperatures from -10 to 60 degrees of Celsius. The maximum power goes to about 210 watts. And the motor speed, when you use the 7.4 voltage, it goes to about 21,600 rounds per minute. And inside this box comes with the brushless motor with the FET inside, a connection wire, and a controller. And this FET is a little bit different between from other companies' FET, because other companies' FET they can make sure they only control a short period of time, and then maybe only 0.2 seconds, and then how many rounds they were able to fire. But if the voltage is higher, maybe they will fire more rounds. If the voltage is lower, they will shoot fewer rounds. But for this one, it's totally different, because they use the brushless motor. So brushless motor have several advantages. First, it can be built smaller, and second, there will be avoid any flashover inside the motor, so build this motor more durable. But the more important is it can be programmed. So actually, when you pull the trigger, the motor operate and have a pulse inside, and the FET will count the pulse. Each pulse will means one shot, and this FET will count how many pulse be captured. So they can make sure how many rounds they are fired. It doesn't matter the voltage change or not. So this is a great difference between other companies' FET. And because they need to grab every pulse exactly, so in the first time, when you mount the motor into the hand grab, you need to zero this FET. Now I show you how to zero this FET. Before you start to zero it, you got to switch to semi-fire and pull the trigger first. Then you can connect the battery. You heard the voice, and then you fire 10 rounds semi-fire. Okay, now it's already zeroing the pulse, so the FET can capture all the pulse exactly. Now the motor is ready, the FET's motor all are set. Now I can start to introduce you this controller. As for this controller, actually there are three parts very important: the screen, the mode button, and the set button. When you see the screen, you can know the information, and when you push the mode button, you can switch to different mode. There are 5 modes in this controller, and if you push the set button, you can into this mode or set up the mode. So let's start the first mode. And before we start, I want to tell you, the first mode is the countdown mode. It can actually it's the shoot count control setting. It only can be set up in the first 20 seconds when you connect the battery. So in the first beginning, you will see this unlimited logo. If you want to set up this how many rounds you can fire, you can enter. Now it's unlimited. But actually you can set up from 299 rounds to 0 rounds. If I push this button and set up to 9 rounds, that means they are only able to fire 9 rounds. Okay, now let's go back. Now this is the burst mode. Now it's only fire 2 rounds in the burst mode. So if I pull the trigger in the full auto, it will send out 2 rounds every time. Okay, now it's empty, 0. If I pull this trigger again, it will give a signal and nothing happened, unless I unplug the battery and connect it, put it back again. Okay, if you don't like or you don't need this function, you can disable it. But actually this will be more fun if you use this setting for your game. To disable this function is very easy. You can reset to 0. That is, enter and push these buttons together for 5 seconds. Okay, now it go back to the unlimited logo. The next is the burst mode shoot count selection. There are only 3 rounds currently, but you can enter and change the setting. Now it fires 4 rounds, 5 rounds, or full auto. And you can start setting from 2 rounds to full auto. If I switch to 3 rounds and I pull the trigger, it will send out 3 rounds every time I pull the trigger. And the next is the battery low voltage warning selection. The default is the 3.2 voltage, but there are also, you can set different voltage from 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, and 3.6. And if you use the 9K battery, you can enter the 9K battery mode, or you can turn it off. And next is the full auto trigger setting time gap selection. It means when you pull the trigger and the time is longer than 0.4 seconds, it will always do the same setting, 2 rounds every time you set it. But if you pull the trigger faster than 0.4 seconds, it will turn to full automatic. It will turn to the full auto mode automatically. For example, I pull the trigger. I pull the trigger slower than 0.4 seconds, so every time it sends out the burst mode. But if I pull the trigger faster than 0.4 seconds, it will turn to the full auto mode automatically. This will be important when you face too many enemies at once accidentally. And the last is the battery voltage display. The battery display will able to tell you the voltage, the battery status. And you can see there's a B.6. That's because we use the 11.1 voltage battery, and this digital only can show from 0 to 9. So when it goes to 10 voltage, it will automatically jump to 8.6. And if you go to the 11, it will go to B.6. And this is a good function. You can know your status of your battery. And if you keep push this mode, you can set up different modes as you like. You can program your FET motors as you wish. So this one is very, very useful. And if you like it, please order from the Airsoft Taiwan online shop. And before I stop this video, I want to remind you the FET will use the power. So if you finish your war game, please make sure you can unplug your battery, so the FET will be shut down, and so that the battery will be removed from your gun. So that will save your power and save your FET. That's our test today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.